And the topic for today that I want to talk about is 5 things that I like about Vietnam, that is like the best thing about Vietnam in my opinion, and 5 things that I dislike about Vietnam or maybe you don't know about. I'll share my thoughts and opinion and stuff that knowledge that living here for my entire life, basically, what I've figured out and what to avoid for anyone planning to travel here. First thing, I want to start off with things that I like about Vietnam. Food. Like, that's the best thing about Vietnam. Food is dirt cheap. There's tons of variety for street food. There are tons of location because like there's literally shop everywhere. There are so much different variety of street food. You never get bored of like rotating around, and the price is dirt cheap. Like, I'm not joking. Today I had Roi Cuong, which is Vietnamese spring roll. Just before the stream started, I had 5 Roi Cuong for dinner. Like, it's super tasty, and guess what? The price? $2. $2 for one entire meal, and it's like high quality shrimp, high quality meat as well. It's not like your average kind, because if you go for like low tier of the Roi Cuong, you can actually get 5 for $1 if you find a good vendor. It's also a bad thing, but I don't really care because that comes with the country. Food is not very well regulated. So that means if you don't have an iron stomach, you can easily get food poison. It's not actually that uncommon. It's not like the health practice or anything. It's more like because the amount of resident and the amount of sanitary in Vietnam, like the amount of, overall quality of life, like you can get an ice cream. 9 out of 10, ice cream is fine, safe, but one ice cream is gonna be like expired milk, and you're just gonna have a horrible time. You can get like some sort of bánh tráng. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 bánh tráng shop will be very sanitized, very clean. They use really good ingredient, taste delicious, cheap price, everything. And then that one single shop that just used the wrong ingredient or got a bad day with like dust and bacteria, and then you just ate it. Hospital time. Expired food, throw it in the trash. Yes, it is expired food. You can throw it in the trash, but usually you don't know if it's expired. Like, usually you just can't tell the difference because they already blended it together and it just looks and tastes the same. And you can't even smell the difference because of the air. So much dust. Yeah, dust and, dirty stuff. Like, people pee and piss and throw garbage into the river. So the water in the river is hella polluted. Don't try to swim in it. You'll drown and die. But that's a bad thing. So, second best thing about Vietnam. Literally anything you want is much cheaper, besides China, but much cheaper than any other country. Vietnam's like the top 5, guaranteed top 5 of the cheapest things in the entire world. So if you want to buy like a phone, a lot cheaper than anywhere else. You can also buy secondhand stuff, which is even cheaper than that. You want to buy food? Okay. If you know how to bargain, you can drop that price down from like $5 down to $1. Literally, you can manage to get your way for free if you know how to do it. Final good thing that I can think about in Vietnam, it would be the locals, like the people around. They have a mentality of stay out of my business. I'm not gonna bother with your business. We just kind of have a survival mentality. It's like win-win situation. As long as he wins, I win. We think about each other. But when we see someone else, like we're not racist or anything. We just don't care. Most Vietnamese people don't have the time or energy to care. We gotta maximize trying to provide for ourselves. So survival. We're just mainly thinking about survival. Now let's talk about the bad things about Vietnam. And oh boy, there are a lot of bad things about Vietnam. So I'm just gonna summarize into 5 bad things. First one would be fraud. So anything that is fraudulent, scam, or corruption, or like theft, then it is in this category. So I'll start with the first one, fraudulent for tourism. So like I said, if you are a foreigner, you travel to Vietnam, you stay in District 1, and if you could stay in a cheap motel, but usually people will offer you a hotel which is really expensive for the local resident to even bother trying to scam. But if you stay in a motel, they would probably try to go for something like 4 or 5 times the price of normal motel, and just don't stay in District 1 basically. It's more expensive than necessary. If you go into a store store, a mom and pop shop, and you buy something, the most common scam is that they say, I don't have enough change, since they know that the foreigner won't really bother with losing like a quarter of the dollar. So they just give you some candy or something. And that's basically a very common scam. Anything that's less than $1. Second thing would be stolen stuff. Like if you go outside with your phone, like the selfie, recording video, taking pictures camera, there is usually either a driver, a taxi, or a motorbike runs right beside you and yoink, stole your phone before you even know what happened. They are super fast. And if you struggle with it, they can either hit you or they can literally use a knife to chop off the string or chop off your hand just to take your stuff. They don't care about you as the individual. They care about the item. Pickpocketing is also a thing. So if you're in a crowded place in District 1, you're getting pickpocketed. You don't even know how fast they can pickpocket. It walk right past you, gone. Your phone is gone. Okay, next thing that I dislike about Vietnam is the police system. The police system is horrible. I wouldn't say it's corrupt, but I would say it's bribery. How it works is if a police like pulls you over, there's only two things you can do. But you always go for the first option because the second option is just a pain. So the first option is to bribe them. Give them about $10 to $20 depending on how much you have. So the best advice for me to give to you is to have two wallets. One wallet for your main account with all your money, and a second wallet with like spare change, a lot of spare change, $10 to $20. That should be enough for most situations. And just give them that, show them you don't have a lot of money, this is all you got, so you don't get arrested. If you do get arrested, the paperwork is crazy and they would usually beat you up before they even put you to the slammer. So the final third one is the traffic. It's simple. There's tons of motorbike, there's tons of cars, the road is narrow, it's very narrow. Everyone is gonna be trying to get to their destination as fast as possible, so they are very reckless. Red light, green light is like a game of chicken. So what happens is you gotta have to curve to a lane. So if they don't play chicken, we're gonna both crash. But if someone pulls the brake to play chicken, we get to go ahead and go first. And that person has to wait for the next car to go before, or the red light just stops them. You're gonna see like tons of YouTube video in Vietnam, like how crazy and chaotic the traffic is. Everyone has their own way to get over to the other side. If they're gonna drive over to you, they're gonna drive over you. Getting car accident and getting wrecked by a motorcyclist or a car is common. They just don't care. Like they have no regard for your life at all. Getting anywhere close to a road is a risk, and you just have to accept. Sometimes people even go off of the road onto the walk street, like the place where a pedestrian walk. Yeah, they go on top of it if the road is clogged. That's how crazy it is. And I done it as well. I'm guilty of that. I would just go onto the walkway to just, yep, I need to get to my destination. Screw you. We're going there no matter what. Rain? That's not gonna stop me. Flooding? That's not gonna stop me. Come on, man. I'm just gonna go.